Hi guys, it's been a while and we are going to have another session with the Conquistador. This painting, if you'll remember, was a study of a Rembrandt. So I am doing a study of a Rembrandt. I'm not sure how much it differed from the original. And the story of this painting is that my mother-in-law bought it or had it in her family. Her family are Spanish since childhood. And we're going to start the background. Let me find it. Which is not exactly black, but it is a dark gray. And it fades a bit. And you can actually see in the photograph there are like places in the wall that were not perfect that he sought to put it in. So we're going to start with, what is this black? Ivory black, and we're going to add white, and we're going to get a neutral gray. We're going to start dark. Let's get a gray. Yeah, looks like it has a little purple in it. Look and see how you check your colors. A little bit of liquid. And the nice thing about backgrounds like this, if it's not exactly to your liking, you can always glaze over with a similar color, darker or lighter, with more liquid in it so that it'll be more transparent and move more freely than regular oil paint does. Now I'm going to just start here. And if you'll remember the last time, I forgot to put some plumage in this area, but that's okay. We will put some back in. And once it gets, see how once it gets up on the canvas, it could even be, it's pretty close. It needs to be a little darker. Go ahead and outline the sketch. We're going to work that. And when you start a background, you can't see it. You can get it smooth if you'd like. But the painterly way, and what they did mostly, was back and forth to get texture on the back. Because the idea of painting on a flat surface is to make things look round, concave or convex. I'm going to go ahead and pull that line. See, because I want, and what looks like he did, Mr. Rembrandt, was all the shadows were actually darker than the background. So the background cannot be black. But the shadowing and the colors under here must be in order to copy what he did. My wife Annette is sitting with me today. Say hello, Miss Annette.
Hi. I hope y'all enjoy the painting.
Yes. She actually paints very well too. She just doesn't anymore for some reason. But we can see that just by filling in the background, it starts pulling this figure out of it, which is nice. It's very nice. This is what you call the grunt work, covering lots of canvas. It's all in colors. You would think that it would be boring, but it really is not. It's very pleasing to get quiet and have a room that's still and just paint away. There. This one, this painting, unlike my son's portrait, is going to have a frame. Now you don't have to paint the tops and the bottoms and the sides if you don't want to. Some people do. Frame or no frame. And in the old days, before they made the frameless canvas boards, canvases, that's what we would do. And I've never actually stretched our own canvases, so we don't have to, which is nice. And as you see, it's probably going to take at least 2 paintings of the background to get it in, and then we're going to have to start fading color to light, whereas the light in this background is basically up in this area here, with it being fading to dark there, like right in through here. And you see how he kind of falls into the shadows. You can't really see a definite line in some cases, in some areas, which I think is very interesting. Okay, so this is his, it's either a helmet or his hair. And we will explore that a little bit later. And you see what I just did. Painting is forgiving, so not to worry. I think it's going to be great because my sister and my brother-in-law have it in their dining room. And it's a beautiful painting, but the varnishes over canvas, well, all varnish goes black after many, many years. And so it also happened with this painting, well, this painting here. In fact, the photograph takes away a good bit of the black that is in the original, well, their painting, which is not the original, but a study. But I can imagine The original did the same thing and therefore gives an artist the job of restoration.
It's a good girl. Yeah, it's a good girl.
The restoration is done with Q-tips and paint.
What's going on? What's going on?
Turpentine. Turpentine smells. Turpenoid has a much more pleasant odor. Let's see what you got. Let's see what this painting. Oh yeah, it's looking nice. The thing about painting is that in today's times, we expect everything in the moment. The painting takes a while. It takes, okay? I mean, it takes several sittings or sessions with the canvas and the paintbrushes in order to create something that a photograph would take in a split second. But the nice thing about painting is you can make things more prominent or less prominent. You can take your subject and make them thinner or fuller. You can do it in the classic style or you can do it in one of the more modern styles. Now this side, of course, is lighter gray, but I'm going to start with a basic black. Here we're going to go paint it over and we're going to fade and brighten. We're outlining now. There we go. See, I messed that up, but we'll go back over here. We're adding some plumage here later on also. Now, acrylics are fun. Acrylics are almost instant, and they give you a much more quicker result, but they don't last as long. They're subject to moisture. And being modern, a lot of people use the new types of paint, the acrylics. Which is fine, I've used them too. I use them to paint for the clam shop. Exhibits at the clam games, at the Highlands games. And it was fun, and I got quite a lot of response from that. People took photos and things like that, so. Get it on there, smooth it out, and we'll go back over it. That's the first thing you want to do is to get color on your canvas. My teacher is a lady named Linda Pollock. And she teaches around the Atlanta area. Excellent. She can't hear. But her mother was a wonderful painter, and she taught her how to paint. And we don't realize it, but when you sit under an educator, you're sitting under educators who came before educators, who went back to the first stroke of the brush on a canvas. Right. Let's say my education in college for piano was Janine Morrison. She was my professor. Her teacher was a man named Edwin Hughes. She flew to New York once a month for those lessons. His teacher was Vladimir Leschetitsky, who moved to New York from Germany many years ago. His teacher was Johann Sebastian Bach. So it doesn't matter who you're learning from. Someone else taught them their craft. And so it goes on and on and on. So anyway, pardon the coughing. Today is a grunt day, a field day. Get the background. Background is very important. See how it has brought our subject, the conquistador, out. And he has color all the way down to here. So I'm going to get that. And just as you notice, we will be using a lot of black. And by doing what we did with the wipeout, this first background shows that up dramatically. You see the depth, you see the light, you see where we took the Q-tips and wiped away where shadows should not be, or should be less, or where color will fill that space later on. Anyway. A lot of people start their art either in school or at a place, an art store, like is that one Hobby Lobby teaches classes in some of them. I did not learn at Hobby Lobby, but if you're interested, find a teacher. They could change your life. Now see all this in here? It fades away. But I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to do that once we start putting color in. And we're going to, there's the buckle on his collar. And we're going to come across this way. So, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can add a little bit more of that secondary tone. And that's my wife's tool. Let's do as much as we can before the. You will find there will be a moment in your painting session when you'll say, "Oh, it's too wet," and at that point, walk away from it, let it dry in a day or two. I like liquid because it'll dry in 24 to 48 hours, depending on the temperature of the room, the time of the year. This is the basic white is soft mixing white, which is a good one because it's a neutral white. It's not cool and yet it's not warm either. It just lightens what you have. Let's see if you don't have enough oil and liquid on the canvas, you're going to get the streaks. But you're going to get some streaks anyway. That's the thing about painting with brushes. And that's the beauty of oil painting, whereas with acrylics, they cover great. They cover flat. See how you blend the two together, and you can leave it darker back here because you want to frame your figure or your subject. At this point, I guess we could work on the subjects a little bit, but I really want to get this background done, so I'm going to put here just plain black. See how it covers. And in oils, some of them take a lot of painting over in order to get the desired depth. White is opaque, but it seems like the rest of them are not opaque. you can kind of see through them. And that is part of the beauty of oil also. And if you want to see more even tone, let's see if I have one. Do we have on the first setting? You can use a small paintbrush for the walls and even that out a little bit. Just dry brush over. You could say, let's use this one. It's dry. See how you can do that? Now it's going to take a good one more at least coat to get a solid color on this background. They may do what they had in the years before, computers the years before, Kodak years before, all the chemicals that you use make a portrait, actually, a photo portrait. So at that, I guess I'm going to let it dry, and we will take on this subject another day. Thank you. Let me see what you got.